Scary, homeless stories. According to Reddit, number 13. Let's see. A funny story was a guy at a shelter that I stayed at got stabbed in the ribs by another guy. What a laugh riot. The guy who stabbed him just walked inside, attempted to go to sleep, while the guy who is stabbed is sitting on a bench literally spurting blood out of his side as he lights a cigarette. When the staff called 911 and tried to help him, he was pushing them off, saying that he was fine. Okay. A horrible story. There was a gas station down the street. A guy paid for gas, took the hose, and doused himself in gasoline. I was smoking outside, and I remember him walking by outside the yard and had a lighter in his hand, arm fully extended out. He was very, very mentally ill, so I didn't think anything of it. I couldn't smell gas or anything like that. I continued to smoke and light another one up. About 10 minutes later, I'm inside bullshitting, and at the front desk, and a dude runs in the front door and shouts, "Give me wet towels. A guy set himself on fire across the street." Homeless shelters aren't in good areas, so I just walked out casually, thinking some idiot at the apartments across the street had set a rug on fire, and the dude who ran in was just being stupid. I walk out the front door, and sure enough, on one of the stairwells, there's flames. My thought process was basically, yep, some dumb fuck lit a rug. Oh my god, the rug sat up. The rug's alive. Me and 3 other guys ended up being the ones who put the dude out. He wouldn't, though. Meaning like, he wouldn't go out. Like, he was on fire and he was staying on fire. So the dude goes on to say, I don't know if the gas had to burn off first. I don't really remember putting him out. I just remember after. I don't remember a smell or anything like that. The morbid thing I do remember is that he was out and he just kept shouting, my balls are on fire. Put out my balls. He died 3 days later. Fuck. I was told it was the first time that he'd done something like this. The shelter ended up sending me to therapy, and the woman was the best therapist that I ever had. Shout out to therapists. I still get weird sometimes, and I can't really watch people on fire in movies anymore. The trauma. Hello to everybody in the chat. I hope you guys are keeping it zippity, keeping it doodah, zippity doodah, y'all. The date is April 3rd, and Bill Withers died today. Fucked up. I don't know, maybe you guys knew his song, "Ain't No Sunshine When She's Gone," or just "Ain't No Sunshine." Fucked up. But he was up there, man, 80-something. I also heard today there was a bus driver that was recording a video of a woman just coughing all over the bus. He ended up dying from complications related to that pandemic we're not supposed to talk about. You know, ain't that crazy? What a world we live in. I was going to start lower on this list, but believe it or not, some of these entries are really gnarly, man. Not that I'm trying to keep you from that. But if we reach an entry that just sucks so much that I feel like I need to, take you to Funky Town, I'll go back down to those entries, Definitely not the type of thing you want to start a list with on YouTube, the platform of our Lord, apparently. Number 12, I'm a woman. Yeah, you like hearing that phrase out of my mouth. And I'm in my early 20s. Not my brightest decision, but I slept in my car for several weeks when I was completely out of money. Well, damn, are you an attractive woman? Because, that's even different. Damn it. Every night I parked in a small cul-de-sac. As far as I knew, the area was office only. So I didn't take anybody's parking lot. In the morning I would just leave. I worked a lot, so usually I slept like a log. One night though, I woke up feeling anxious for some reason. I looked up and saw a softly illuminated window right above me. Nice warm light, as if from a grandma bedside lamp. I freaked out a bit and fumbled for my keys. I better sit the rest of the night out at a McDonald's or something. Then I noticed a silhouette not far away. A man was standing. He was still and watching me. He didn't knock on my window, didn't try to talk or anything. He was just watching. I booked it out of the cul-de-sac real quick. You know, the thing that freaks me out the most is not even the fact that he could have assaulted or robbed me, but the realization that he may have watched me every other night. But I was too tired to notice this earlier. Ain't no sunshine when he... It's not warm when she's away. Alright, here's what's happening. We're going to number 11. But if these get kind of corny, I'm going to pull up that, because one of them's deleted. And again, I don't really read these entries before I, read them for the stream, but some words, of course, at a cursory glance jump out. And the one word that YouTube's got big problems with, because we're not supposed to, apparently we should be living in a world where we pretend that that's not a thing that happens. Like, what? Number 11, right? Biggest thing. A 5'3", 115, no. I'm guessing that this is their height and weight? The biggest thing was how often people would try to abduct you. What? That and how often people try to serve you tampered food. The teenagers trying to get clout by assaulting/pranking you is another one. Oh, for the interest of clarity, this list is not stories just about homeless people, but it's also stories from the perspective of people who are homeless or are homeless. So, here's hoping that this isn't too big a thing anymore, because what kind of fucking loser ass kids are out here still watching, people prank the homeless? Y'all need to grow the fuck up, man. Especially when the pranks aren't funny, The sad truth is the funniest pranks with homeless people are probably going to be like the same kind of, like you ever watch a fail video and there's like an element of slapstick or somebody getting hurt, and that's what's funny. But with a homeless person, it's sad. You don't want that. No. Ugh. They got it hard enough. What the hell? Your midnight ghost hunt alpha key is here. What the hell is midnight ghost hunt? What is midnight ghost hunt, bro? Yo. Midnight ghost hunt. Midnight ghost hunt. Oh, I wonder if I'm supposed to play this. 'Cause it's kind of like a Ghostbusters thing. When did I get this? Today at 8:38 p.m. It is now 9:42. About an hour ago that rolled in. That would be a cute thing to watch. Hummingbird says, "Hey Kyle, hello. I hope you're all okay. Not getting too intense." Bed Shredder says, "I had a homeless dude run up to my car one day in a Cracker Barrel parking lot. He decided to turn away when he noticed my hand on my pew pew. You gonna hit him with a plap plap." That was really gross, and I apologize for that, but it's not the type of thing that has ever happened on this stream ever before. And, for that reason, it's also not like we would have a graphic for that kind of thing. So considering it's such a, few and far between occurrence, I appreciate that. For real? Yo, I need a new fucking cable. I need a new fucking cable. I got one of these phone charging cables that apparently needs to sit in a very specific spot. And if you move it, it's just like, wait, charge, no charge, charge, no charge, charge, no charge. Ugh. Chloe knows what I'm talking about.
That's right. It's your girl, Chloe. Y'all can catch me on my OnlyFans because I can't work at the club no more. What is all this quarantine bullshit? Y'all need to let me back so I can make that money these Johns were putting me through college. Oh, Lord, catch me on my OnlyFans. The shower set is coming.
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? As we continue these stories, we arrive at number, 11. -1. There are a lot of stabbings and struggle snuggles. That is not cool. That's so sick and sad, but it's life minus like society, and it's terrible that it just instantly is that. This person says they were stalked by a gang one night on their way home from work. I still have no idea how I wasn't amused or mugged once I woke up suddenly to a not homeless man holding a huge knife staring at me inside the abandoned building's basement that I was sleeping in. Once he noticed I was awake, he asked if I was Russian. I said no, and he said he was looking for a different girl. He gave me $20 and left. You woke up to a not homeless man. He asked if you were Russian. So the weirdest part is, did the guy even know who he was fucking looking for? How do you not know who you're looking for? Is all you're aware of the fact, that she's of Russian descent? Were you sent to kill somebody? And the way that you decided you were going to do it was with a fucking knife? You know how messy that is, you cuck? What is going on? This story's like mad. Whoa, suspicious as fuck. I'm just confused. What if she had said yes? Whoa. You're sleeping in an abandoned building. You're a woman. The saddest part about these is that some of these people actually got jobs, dude. While you sleeping in this abandoned building, you could probably figure out a shelter, dude. Holy hell. As we continue up this list before my eyes start watering, I had been homeless for a couple of weeks now. Made a couple of friends. I knew this one couple and they seemed pretty chill, but had a bit of a drinking problem. One night I was sleeping, could hear some commotion going on. I couldn't make out who it was or what was going on until my buddy comes and sits on my sleeping bag, blood pumping out of his neck. Like full on every time his heart beat, it would just splurt out. Not under huge pressure, but it was pretty bad. I asked him what happened, and he said he thinks he misses had cut his throat. Sorry, boy. He thinks that his missus, as in, sorry. Sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I'm usually really ahead of myself, trying to correct what may be people's mistakes. But when they wrote missus, they mean as in like his opposite half, like the woman he's with, the missus. He thinks the missus had cut his throat with a Stanley blade. He was so drunk that he was not aware of how bad his injury was and insisted that I did not call an ambulance. Bitch. So I called the police and they called the ambulance. I see a dude a couple days later. He's still homeless, scar on his neck. He's ever so grateful the nurse had told him how lucky he was. He was literally a couple of millimeters away from dying that night. I'm no longer homeless. This happened 6 years ago now. Boy, you got a couple in that bitch that's gonna slice you up. I mean, goddamn, dude. I mean, goddamn. You know, this is some sad and scary stuff. Keep the titties perky, guys. I'm scared. I'm scared of what we're reading. I hope it doesn't happen to us. I hope the collapse of society doesn't lead us into a situation like this. where the ones we thought we could trust when we close our eyes at night are out here slicing it up. Number 8, snow. I'm a big, scary dude, so I never had trouble with people picking on me or whatever in that sense. The streets were safe to me, but seeing snow for the first time that year just made me cry and panic. It was too early for snow. I wasn't ready for that type of cold and was hoping to be on my feet again before the winter came. Beautiful thing like snow just fucked me up in so many wows. What would you do if your son was at home, crying all alone on the bedroom floor cause he's hungry, and the only way to feed him was to sleep with a man for a little bit of money, but his dad is gone? Oh my God. So for you, this is just a good time, but for me, this is what I call life. Enough. Bruh. I'm glad people can make it. You know what I mean? Sometimes, even when you're working for what you want, getting it is just a little difficult, baby. Baby. Number 7. Waking up to a shotgun being pointed directly at my head. Oh. I wasn't truly homeless, but I had no money or bank card and was trying to get back to my parents following nearly being strangled to death by my ex. Oh. Seems like things are just getting better and better for you. The actual fight happened whilst we were out, so I had no spare, no clothes. I'd left my wallet at his house and only had a dying phone on me. And this guy sounds like a really upstanding gentleman. Sounds like you hoes really know how to pick him. You know, I hope that he was fucking your brains out to the point where you were passing out for a couple of days. Or I don't know, he was so attractive, because that's what you girls chase sometimes, you know? But these are the kinds of flags that don't just manifest overnight. I'm pretty sure that you knew you were dating the type of person that would, I don't know, if not strangle you, which is what the story here is saying, right? Would leave you in a scenario where you're without, you know, funds to get anywhere. Oh my God. You got no clothes. Bruh, you couldn't have somebody wire you money? Ladies, let me tell it to you like this, and this is extremely awful sounding, okay? But you're a woman, so use that fucking power to keep at least a couple of the stupid ass like lonely fucking dweebs that are crazy about you, on deck. If that means tossing them a stupid ass message every fucking week or so, do it. Do it. Because some of them are willing to go far for you. I know girls that could probably call me up right now, and if they could prove to me that they weren't on that bullshit, that they weren't looking for drug money, that they were in a bad situation and maybe needed some money wired to them, I might consider it. Not because I'm crazy about them, but I'm letting you know that there are dudes who are crazy about bitches where if shit gets real for you, all you'd have to do is say, I need your help. And the situation where they finally are relevant and useful to you when you would otherwise be ignoring them, it would play out to your fucking benefit, and both people win. So just remember to keep some people on deck. If you burn all these bridges by just forgetting some niggas exist, when Captain Strangle comes into your fucking life, you know what I'm talking about? You put yourself in this situation. I'm not saying she deserves anything that she gets when she got here, but any real person that is accountable and responsible for their own actions can at some point look back and think to themselves, what did I do differently? I've been put in jail for things that I didn't do. I've taken pleas and convictions for shit that I didn't do, but I always can think back and go, what if I didn't put myself in that situation? What if I wasn't with this bitch? What if I didn't go here? What if I didn't move here? Blah, 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 blah. There's always things you should be able to look at yourself and say, what could I have done differently? And with a woman, boy, it doesn't really matter what you look like, what you bring to the table, how smart you are. Some people will be willing to have a relationship with you. And yeah, some people are probably going to try to push for more, and you need to cut them off, if not establish the boundaries firmly with them. But the fact that some of them are willing to be there for you is more than you'll ever receive out of some of the people that you're fucking chasing. And I want you to think about that some people that y'all don't really care about care more for you than the people that you are with, the people that you care about, and the people that you will find out are only tolerating you. And that's profound. Just be friendly with people. You don't need to burn every bridge, you know. The only people I really talk to are niggas who come into the stream chat on that bullshit. Ain't that crazy? You know? And I love you guys because you're all chilling, you know, you have your lives, you know, whether you're working, whether you're teaching, whether you're doing whatever to pass the time. You're unwinding right now with the apocalypse occurring outside, and you just want to take it easy. But some of the most passionate people are only passionate for a time, and then that passion turns into something else. It could remain passion. It can just be passion that's being funneled into something a little insane. And I am not victim blaming. I know it always seems like I'm doing that, but I feel like, man, this is the type of person you should have known better than to be in a scenario with them without backup plans, without insurance or contingencies. Because now look at you, and that's fucked up. And you're lucky to have gotten away with your life, otherwise you wouldn't be writing this story. I tried to get money for the train, but only really managed enough for a bus fare to the next town and decided to try hitchhiking. How far out did you put yourself for somebody that was just fine with letting you drive back? And I'm going to tell it to you like this. I could strangle Dia right now. You see what I'm saying? That's a crazy thing to say. But I think I would try to overpower her before I allowed her to just like roll out onto the streets on her own. I try to pay her way if she wanted to leave. I try to pay her way. If she wanted to get away from me, I completely understand that. And if she didn't trust me to be like, oh no, I want to take you to the airport or take you to the train station or the bus station or wherever the fuck you're going to go, I would understand that. But maybe I'd pay for an Uber, you know what I mean, to the station. Maybe I'd try to pay her way to wherever she's going. And it's because of the type of person that I am, which I would imagine hopefully she was, or, you know, in this case, Dia was capable of gauging about me. What sucks about this situation is just this bitch just shit out of luck and she got to fucking foot it potentially across states to get back. It's just not a smart situation. Why did she put herself in it? You know? I'll be the first one to admit sometimes you don't know who you're dealing with, and people can decide overnight to flip a light switch and change. If any of y'all are in a relationship, be it a boyfriend and girlfriend or husband and wife scenario, guess what? One day they can wake up and decide they don't want fuck all to do with you anymore, and there ain't a fucking thing you can do to change that. They can decide you need to get away from them, that they're going to live away from you. They can go as far as taking out a restraining order if you don't comply. Don't matter if you got kids, don't matter what you got going on. They need to make the choice to willingly have something to do with you. This scenario is so bizarre, but it must happen every fucking second of every minute of every day. How can you people get together and convince yourselves that there's genuine care for each other, but be fine with you out on the street? I can't feel that way about an enemy, dude. A girl trekking, talking about she gonna hitchhike now? Phone dying? Where is your charger? Is she making this more dramatic than it is, or was she just stupid? Is it a combination of both? I left my wallet at his place. You know? I get it. He tried to strangle you, you running the fuck out. You know? I don't know. Your dying phone is on you. Boy. Late into the night, I gave up and managed to sneak into a barn where I was able to get comfortable enough to sleep. Turns out I didn't close the door enough, and the farmer found me in the morning after taking his gun to investigate. He woke me up, I think he cleared his throat, with the gun pointed at me and I nearly shat myself. He asked me what I thought I was doing in his barn, and he quizzed me on how I got in. He asked to see my arms before he lowered the gun, and he started chatting. He was quite nice, though, and after talking to him for a while, he took me back to his house and fed me and let me have a shower. So I want y'all to understand something right now, okay? The country you're living in is not as stars and stripes and, beautiful and kind as you imagine. There are many suit-wearing skinwalkers out there. Chameleon motherfuckers. Producers, I should say, that are walking the streets right now, and if they ever encountered a girl on their property, it wouldn't be talks, it wouldn't be questions. They would now have a new life. They would now have a new purpose. And it is basically servitude if they want to live. And they'd probably immediately, impregnate so she could plop out a baby so that motherfucker can be born into the servitude. Wouldn't be no words. Wouldn't be no, questions. This bitch is so lucky. And I happen to believe it happened across the pond because, she says, I left my wallet at his as opposed to his place. And they always say that over there. They always write it that way. This bitch is so lucky. This bitch was so lucky. Properly astounding, man. I'll hit you with number 14 right now, which was the one that I was initially going to start the list on because number 15 is deleted. But I can retrieve it anyway. It's not that big a deal. Number 14 says, I don't know if it counts, but I lived in a van for a month or so when I was in college. I would sleep at the park. I didn't necessarily see it, but I heard it, and it is burned into my mind forever. A group of local hobos beat a guy near to death, and then they all raped his girlfriend/wife and beat her to death. I found a new park after that. You heard this shit. Somebody says, what did you do when you heard it? Did you call the police? The dude says he did, but the hobos are kind of autonomous in the city that he was living in. The police would ignore them and let them sort their own matters out. I'm not sure autonomous is the word that this guy was looking for. Having the freedom to govern themselves. Nah, dude, crime is still crime. If you heard sexual abuse / a beating going on, I feel like the cops would still need to show up and make sure that they're not beating up and, taking advantage of, forgive me for saying it this way, but normies. If they were doing this amongst themselves, who gives a shit? That's the way that the cops view it. But when they're stepping into other bing bong territory here, we got a problem. And trust me, we know what it's like when there's a lot of people and the police show up. I saw a video today of a bunch of people in New York, and it was just a really funny scenario as far as I'm concerned, because it shows you how powerless the police are when there's a considerable amount of people. And in New York, boy, they got another kind of adrenaline pumping through their veins where, they don't give a fuck about no badge or no gun, man. They disregard you and your little uniform. And I don't know what the hell they were doing. It looked like they were just trying to break into a building or something, but there were just so many of them. And the police show up, and it was clearly just like there's too many of them. Didn't matter. Ghost hunt. Am I really gonna ghost bust tonight? That could be interesting. Number 15 that's deleted says, I got beat and left in the bushes of the Greyhound station in Portland, Oregon. You know it's going to be a terrible story when we're dealing with Portland, Oregon. I was beaten for a pack of rolled smokes. I woke up in the same spot, surrounded by people still. I lived at TPI, so it was just a walk away, but no one cared that half my head was covered in blood. Sorry. Wait. Nobody cared that half my head was covered in blood and my head was torn open. I saw a lady get stabbed on the same block, and the police tell the news lady that there was nothing to report. People just keep driving. Why doesn't Stephen King or any kind of esteemed writer know any, like, why don't they go, hang out somewhere? They should buy property in a terrible place with dope-ass security, bar up the windows, bulletproof glass, and just, observe some shit. Put some cameras out there. You got money. Buy some property in some shitty areas, bulletproof glass, bars on the windows, get you some pit bulls, whatever you gotta do, you got the money. And set up some damn cameras and see you some crime, baby. Write about that shit. I wanna see a story with an opening act that is as dark as this. And that's not a coof, okay? Not yet. We have to hope that we'll be fine. For now, in the midst of people not taking it seriously. Oh boy. But I want to see a story like that. But I want the progression of the story to deal with the protagonist convincing himself that there's a point to it all. You know what I mean? Could call the movie like Normal on the Outside or some bullshit like that. And then the whole movie will just be like this guy seconds away from snapping. Every other scene we get of him when he returns home is straight out of a serial killer type bullshit where he's just working on a manifesto, but he's not sure if he's going to do anything yet. He's purchasing a lot of weapons very methodically, very, calm. Just stockpiling some stuff. He's been renting out a hotel room somewhere where every other day he waits till people switch shifts and takes suitcases full of weapons and into that hotel room, high hotel room, goes up high in a building. Whoa, wait a minute. I'm not supposed to talk about this kind of stuff, even if it is a joke, whatever. I mean, a hypothetical, I should say. That's why they did it in Vegas. I mean, it's not like I'm proposing anything that's this is anarchist cookbook stuff. Wow, Kyle. I really do wonder how I've even made it on this platform, because I'm really not supposed to talk about anything. I'm not supposed to have a discussion or, bring anything to light. Can I tell you something? I've been fucking around on the internet for a long time, and I remember how hard the internet tried to flex censorship when World Trade Center 7 fell down into its footprint, and people had videos of flashes coming from the inside of the building as key points were it was a controlled demolition. That's all I'm saying. If you've ever seen World Trade Center 7, that's some confusing shit right there, especially with the story that they're trying to sell to you. It would be as if I threw some piss in your face and you tasted it. You could tell it was piss. And you know how you knew it was piss? Because right before I threw it in your face, I, in front of you, facing you, pulled my dick out and pissed into a glass, and it came out all yellow and the right consistency and everything. And then, I also lifted my thing up to show you that there was no tubes or anything like that. Who knows? Do you get what I'm saying? You could pretty much verify it was piss. And then I told you, listen to me, that was actually apple juice. And then you ask, did you drink the apple juice first and then piss it out? No, I've been having nothing but soda. That's gonna be syrupy tasting, I can tell you. What are we doing again? Nah, man, the fires, they brought it down. The fires. Are you Russian? No. Okay, I'm looking for another girl. See you later. That can be a scene in the movie, He's out patrolling abandoned buildings. Man, how could we explain this scene? How could we explain this scene from a writing perspective? Number 9. I'd been homeless for a couple of weeks now. Nope, you read this one. Amazing. 8. You read 8 too? Wow, have I gotten really far along on this list? Number 6. People who had been homeless way longer than me, trust me, there is nothing scarier on the street than the meth couple who this has been their day in and day out for thousands of days. Oh. Seraphin Bear says, why would you throw pee? I mean, in my analogies, if that's what you're